If you haven't already heard, Anchor by Spotify is the easiest way to make a podcast. With everything you need all in one place, let me explain. Anchor has tools that allow you to record and edit your podcast right from your phone or computer. When hosting on Anchor, you can distribute your podcast on listening platforms like Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and more. It's everything you need to make a podcast in one place. And best of all, Anchor is totally free. So download the app or go to anchor.fm to get started. Hello, you're listening to Got Clutter, Get Organized, the podcast that focuses on helping you create space to attract more money, love, and happiness in your life. I am your host, Janet M. Taylor, and I want to say hello if you're a regular listener, and welcome if you're listening for the very first time. I hope you are having a great week. If you enjoy listening to this podcast, please leave a review so I can continue bringing you episodes each and every week. And I want to thank Ada E77. She said so many great metaphors for how to remove other types of clutter from your life. Thank you. And thank you, Ada E77, for your feedback. And of course, also, there are two ways you can support this podcast individually by clicking the Buy Me a Coffee link or as a business. And either way, I'll give you a shout out on the air. Details for both are in the show page. Well, in this episode, I will be sharing time management tips for you to enjoy this holiday season by planning to get things done. I will also be sharing my product, app, repurpose, and book suggestion for the week. And my question for you this week is, what area in your life would you like to better manage your time? Now, I know you've probably heard this before, but did you know that 15 minutes of planning can save you an hour? And 1 hour of planning can save you 3 to 4 hours in execution? And I'm going to go in a little bit more detail shortly. But for those of you who may be listening to this for the very, very first time, in 1994, I took my natural ability and started Totally Organized LLC. I've been a government contractor. My celebrity and clients include Les Brown, Deanna Williams. I am a corporate trainer conducting webinars for Fortune 500 firms. And in 2021, I conducted over 100 webinars with some surpassing 500 attendees. Also, in April 2018, I appeared on The Rachel Ray Show, where I was crowned the clutter-free queen. I also appeared on HGTV's Mission Organization, and I've been a speaker for IKEA as well as the Philadelphia Home Show. Most of you know me as the host and producer of this weekly podcast, Got Clutter, Get Organized. And thanks to all of you listening, in 2021, the podcast was ranked number 1 in the top 100 indie home and garden chart and ranked number 1 in the top 100 home and garden chart. And I also serve on the advisory board for the business division at Pierce College. All right, so now I got all that out the way. So, whether you use a device, whether you use a calendar, whether you use a planner, what other tools may you need during this? Is you Post-its, maybe folders to keep those invitations, the physical information, the directions, etc. So those are just some tools. So of course you might be listening to this on your cell phone or your device, but maybe later you can listen to this over again or just take some notes. But whatever your tool is, my tools are, I have, of course, my, digital calendar, and it's on all my devices, but I also have a physical planner. And I also, in order to really help me manage everything, I have 2 whiteboards. And I've got Post-its all over my hallway, leading from my, office area down to my dining room, and that is okay. But let's talk about the 15-minute planning routine. 15 minutes will save you an hour. There's a couple of things you can do in those 15 minutes. You can either at the end of your workday take a few minutes to plan your next workday. because things change, meetings pop up, so you have to be a little bit more strategic in what you're doing, but also not overwhelm yourself and thinking you can do 10 things when really you could only do 5 because of everything else you're doing. So that's the first way you can take that 15-minute planning strategy. The other way you can do it is planning the night before. So a lot of you are back in the office maybe 2 or 3 days a week. And so what are you going to wear? Put those shoes by the door. Know where your keys are. Do you have to pack anything specific into your handbag, your tote, your backpack, your briefcase? So that's how to take that 15. Because what actually it does is it prevents you from doing that morning rush thing, trying to find things. Everything will be where it is. And all you got to do is just, do your little morning routine and go out the door. You don't have to worry about all that franticness. So those are the two things you can do 15 minutes of planning. Either right before you log off at the end of your workday or right before you go to bed. So you can choose which one you use. I kind of use a little bit of both. Before I end my workday, I just be strategic about what things I need to do the next day and organize that information, because most of the time I'm working from home. But if I'm not working from home and I'm going to client sites, I actually make sure I put that stuff in the my bag. So let's talk about the 1 hour planning. Excuse me. So the 1 hour planning. Gather, if you are single like me, well, you have a planning session with yourself. But if you've got kids, you got a partner, you got a spouse, get them involved in it. Even if the kids are doing nothing but drawing on the side, it'll get them used to that routine. Get your calendars and your planners, whatever you need, and begin blocking out your time. So during the weekly planning session, you already know what your work schedule is going to be like. What this kid's school schedule is going to be like, but then you start putting those other things in there. For example, there may be family obligations on a weekend. You want to have some me time, but you also know the kids got school activities. They may have projects. You begin to really look at all of that. But then also, it's important for you to review the invitations and place those in your calendar as well. And not, because sometimes you may have an invitation to something, and a lot of times, you want to bring something. Well, you want to be able to plan for that and not have to frantically do it the night before or either before you arrive at the event. And also, in the scope of things, because we are in November, really looking at big picture, specifically as it gets closer to the holidays. Review those travel plans, staying at home, cooking, eating at someone else's house for the holidays. Looking at all that, because really that helps you be strategic. Because one time someone came to me and they wanted to get their house organized by the new year. They called me like the last week in October. And I started asking them questions. Are you going to host any functions for the holiday? Oh, yeah, Christmas and Thanksgiving. Okay. So you have to take those days off the table, the day before, as well as the day after. So that was a total of at least, 6 days right there. But I said also, you got to do shopping for food. You got to possibly do shopping for gifts. You possibly have to clean your house. You have to decorate your house. So I want you, as you begin to really plan your holiday, is really look at all of that and take that into consideration. One, so you don't overwhelm yourself at the last minute. You allow yourself enough time to plan, but you also see, what can I do? What can I do? So think about that as well. So, hopefully that will help you in regards to just really better managing your time this season and beyond. Is to really, I love those weekly planning sessions I have with myself, because that really lets me know what I can and cannot do. Also, just on not during the holiday season, I can realistically say I'm going to do the laundry on a Tuesday. I can actually do some grocery shopping on a Wednesday morning because, all of my webinars are 1 o'clock or after. I also make sure I schedule in my me time, which is usually my exercise time or my walking time, or sometimes it's just my time just to sit on the chair and just kind of look at a book or either binge watch my favorite show. So hopefully that will help you be a little bit more strategic. But now I want to transition to Taylor's tip time. So Taylor's tip time for and time management for the holidays. One, plan the night before is number one, which we already talked about too. That number two is review your schedule daily just to see where you are, what adjustments need to be made. Number three, and this is an important one, take your lunch, your breaks, your me time after a long day of work. Again, take your lunch, your breaks, and your me time after work, because just a regular schedule takes a lot out of us. It can exhaust us, overwhelm us. But holiday season, it's a little bit more hectic. You want to take your lunch and your breaks because you allow yourself to be refueled. Not only physically with some food and some snacks, but mentally as well, depending on what you're doing. So again, start incorporating that. And I can hear you right now. You're saying, Janet, I've got so much work I can't. You have to. Because if you did not refuel your car will be on the side of the road. So, again, maybe you cannot take your breaks because you've just got so much work. Take your lunch or take the 2 breaks. Do something and make sure you refuel your body, but give yourself that mental break. Walk outside, walk around the building, do something. Number 4, schedule in your regular me time. And number 5, making sure you enjoy the holiday by doing all this, by planning the night before, reviewing your schedule, taking your lunch and your breaks, scheduling your me time, making sure you do that. I hope, let me know if these tips are helpful. I would love for you to give me some feedback. You can always post your voicemail on this show page, but also below the links on social media like, Janet, this tip worked for me. Please let me know. So, are you ready to get your life organized? Well, I've got virtual sessions. And as we head into the new year, is it time for you to get organized? From your paperwork to your time to your life, let me help you on your journey. So if you or someone you know or love needs to conquer that clutter or just needs help getting started, go to my contact page, schedule a 15-minute session. Take the steps necessary. Start by doing something today. Click the link in the show page, and also remember, we have gift certificates, so check it out. And of course, I want to thank you. I want to thank you for following me on social media, for your likes, your retweets, for your sharing. Thank you. Please continue to follow me on Twitter, Instagram, and of course, Pinterest. And check out my board, All About Time. Don't forget to check out my YouTube channel and subscribe. And of course, click the bell for notifications. But also, I'm excited to share with you, I am on TikTok now. Yes, I am. I am Janet the Organizer on TikTok. So follow me there as well. Now, if you're thinking of getting your life organized, don't get overwhelmed. Join my Facebook group, Living Life Totally Organized. It's a community of women supporting each other on their journey to living a life totally organized. It's free. Join today. I just come on there. I inspire. I motivate the women. I give them a few strategies. If they post something, I will, give them a strategy. I love it when they post their questions, their videos, and just helping them on their journey, because that's why I created that group. So please check it out. Well, do you know what time it is? Do you have your dance on? Do you got your dance shoes on? Today is Toss It Tuesday. So let's toss all of those, invitations that we no longer need. Let's just toss them right now, because we are in like the last two months. We're getting into the last 2 months of the year. So all that stuff from the beginning of 2022, let's get rid of it. Of course, my app suggestion is Evernote. And the reason I chose Evernote this month is because you're juggling so many things. You got stuff going on at work. Kids probably got projects going on. You have things you want to do for the upcoming holidays. And there may be some last minute projects at work. So that will help you have a place to have all of those notes. I would love for you, for my product suggestion this week, is to check out my Amazon shop, because I've got organizing products for the kitchen, for the bathroom, for the bedroom. Maybe you're having company, maybe you're entertaining. Check out that board, please. And of course, repurpose. Utilize something in your home and repurpose it. Maybe you're all of a sudden you pulling out all those decorations. Some of them are broken, but some of them you're really not ready to let go of. Think of a creative way to repurpose them. My book suggestion for this week is Balance: Positioning Yourself to Do All Things Well, and it's by Pastor Touré Roberts, and it's an Audible book as well. And of course, you can get a free copy and a free 30-day trial from Audible. Click the link in the show page. Again, you can get a free copy of this book and a free 30-day trial from Audible just by clicking the link in the show page. My quote for this week is, either you run your day or your day runs you. So be strategic about how you manage your time as well as manage your life. And that quote is by Jim Rohn. So I definitely want to thank you for listening, and be sure to share this podcast with your family, your friends, and on your social media network. And again, let me know you enjoy listening to this podcast by leaving a review. And also, please support this podcast by buying me a coffee. So be sure to visit my website at www.janetmtaylor.com. And until next time, I want you to have an organized day, but most of all, have a clutter-free week. Like this show and want to make your own? Let me tell you about Anchor. It's free. There's creation tools that allow you to record and edit your podcast right from your phone or computer. Now you can even add any song from Spotify directly to your episode. The possibilities are endless for what you can create, whether it's music analysis, your own radio show, or something the world's never heard before. Anchor will distribute your podcast for you, so it can be heard on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and many more. You can make money from your podcast with no minimum listenership. It's everything you need to make a podcast in one place. Download the free app or go to anchor.fm to get started. Organization is a quintessential element of a clutter-free life. Join me as we take this journey together. Along the way, we will find the necessary answers to your organizing dilemmas. My name is Janet M. Taylor, and you are listening to Got Clutter, Get Organized.